Buckeyes Outside, your place to get the knowledge to get you hunting. You can't kill deer at work or on the couch. That statement is true. However, that does not take into account that most recreational hunters have jobs and families. You're going to have to narrow it down. The best times to hunt deer are when the temperature drops 10 degrees in a 24-hour period, as long as the temperatures do not fall below the 20-degree mark. When the wind is 5 to 8 miles an hour out of your desired direction, with low humidity, no precipitation, at the height of the pre-rut, and no moon the night before. That statement is also true in my experience. If you're lucky, you might get one of those days every 5 to 10 years. If you want to harvest deer, you're going to have to hunt some imperfect days. Let's try to find some middle ground and days to rule out no matter when. Torrential downpours. It's no fun, and you can't find a blood trail even if you hit something. If the wind is in the 18 to 20 mile per hour range or higher, that can be dangerous to be in the woods. Trees blowing down, branches falling, and deer don't really like moving much in windy days either. Unusually high temperature rises. As an example, if the average that time of year is 40 degrees and it's 75 degrees, the deer are going to be in their heavy winter coat and they're not going to want to get up and walk around much. Extremely cold weather can have the same effect. As an example, if it's an average of 40 degrees and it's 3 degrees, the deer aren't going to move much. They're going to be conserving energy, and the only reason they're going to get up is to eat and then go lay back down. So, excluding those conditions, when are the good times to go? We're going to assume that opening day of archery season is going to start around the 1st of October, and then in between you'll have a firearms season somewhere in November, and then you'll have an archery season, and then the season will close somewhere around the end of January. The first is going to be opening day. The most amount of deer that are going to be in the woods during hunting season are going to be around on opening day. Most times, deer have not been pressured by two-legged predators since last season, and often they are a little less spooky and can be caught off guard. Now, for the month of October, any day the temperature drops 10 or more degrees in a 24-hour period, deer will be on their feet, feeding in daylight hours. Take advantage of white oak trees dropping acorns, and deer will target the white oaks first. Halloween in many parts of the white-tailed deer country marks the official start of the rut. Rubs and scrapes will start appearing daily. Does will become skittish from being constantly harassed by hordes of younger bucks. Be in the woods. If that first receptive doe happens to be near your location, things could get interesting. November. If you call yourself a deer hunter, you need to be in the woods as much as possible during the month of November. From the 1st to the 15th or so, anything can happen at any moment. This is the time to pack a lunch and stick it out. I have probably harvested more bucks and had more large buck encounters in the midday than in the early morning or late evening. My personal favorite day to hunt is November 11th. I take it off every year now. I have harvested several nice bucks on that day and had a bunch of awesome encounters. Later in November can be slightly less exciting. Most of the does are locked down with bucks who are tending them. They typically don't move as much as the previous 2 weeks. Now comes firearm season. Most states' firearm seasons come in at the end of November or early December. It can be as exciting as the pre-rut when there are enough hunters in the surrounding areas to keep the deer up and moving. Midday can be awesome again because that's when people are walking to and from the woods and bumping deer. Again, pack a lunch and sit it out. If there aren't many people hunting in your area, consider slowly and quietly sneaking around. This is also known as still hunting. In December, after the firearms seasons wrap up, focus on the food. A good food source for deer will be the ticket to success. Bucks will be looking to get their weight and fat back up after expending so much fighting other bucks and searching for does. Then comes January. Hopefully, you have your freezer full by now. If you don't, it's okay. January can be good too. Focus on the food just like December. Often there is a second rut in January. It doesn't last as long and it's not as intense. Many of the fawns that are in good shape will become receptive in January. This causes a spike in deer activity. Concentrate your efforts on slightly warmer than average days. A 35-degree day after a long period of cold weather in the single digits can save you some money at the grocery store. Now, what if I only had 7 days to hunt? That sounds miserable, but I can make some choices. Assuming decent weather, my 7 days would be opening day of archery season, November 10th, 11th, and 12th, opening day of firearms season, and the weekend of firearms season.
All right, Dad, let's see if I have this right. Opening day of archery season, cooler than average days in October, from Halloween to mid-November, gun season, warm days in December and January, especially near food.
Absolutely. Well said. I hope you like the channel. I hope it helps you out, and I hope you learned something. And if you do,
like and subscribe right now or you won't get any deer this year.